Ruthless police officers attack a blind girl and her canine service dog. But what happened next shocked everyone. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious. Where are you watching from? Drop your country. Name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The city was alive with noise. Horns blaring, footsteps rushing, voices blending into a constant hum. For most, it was just background chaos. But for a little blind girl named Emily, every sound was a challenge, every step a test of courage. Her world was wrapped in darkness, yet she never faced it alone. Beside her walked Rex, a German shepherd service dog trained to be her eyes. Neighbors often marveled at their bond. Emily trusted Rex with her life, gripping his harness as though it were a lifeline. And in return, Rex watched her every move, his sharp instincts ready to protect her from unseen dangers. It wasn't an easy life. Every outing came with risk, every street crossing a leap of faith. But together, Emily and Rex faced the world fearlessly, two souls bound by loyalty, walking step by step through the storm of life. It was a warm afternoon when Emily and Rex made their way downtown. The sidewalks were crowded, the air buzzing, with the usual rhythm of the city. But today wasn't ordinary. Ahead, flashing lights painted the streets red and blue. A line of police cars blocked the intersection and uniformed officers stood watch, tense and alert. Something serious had drawn their attention. Emily couldn't see the tension in their faces, but Rex could feel it. His ears twitched, his pace slowed, and a low rumble hummed in his chest. Emily tugged gently on his harness, whispering for him to guide her forward. She didn't know she was walking straight into the heart of a situation already on edge. The closer they came, the more the crowd grew restless, whispering, watching, waiting for something to happen. As Emily and Rex neared the police line, an officer's sharp voice cut through the air. "Stay back!" he shouted, his hand instinctively, reaching for his weapon. Rex stiffened, standing protectively in front of Emily, his body tense, his deep growl rumbling like distant thunder. To Emily, it was only confusion. She clutched Rex's harness tighter, trembling as voices grew louder around her. "He's my service dog," she cried, but her words were drowned by the noise. To the officers, the growling German shepherd looked like a threat in the middle of an already tense scene. The misunderstanding deepened. Commands were barked, the crowd gasped, and Rex lowered his head, guarding Emily as if she were his world. The officers advanced cautiously, misreading loyalty for aggression. What had been a simple walk for a blind girl was spiraling into a dangerous confrontation no one expected. The moment Rex barked, two officers lunged forward. One grabbed for his leash, the other raised a baton as shouts filled the air. Emily screamed, stumbling as she tried to shield her dog. Her small voice cut through the noise. "Please don't hurt him, he's all I have." Phones shot into the air as bystanders began recording, their angry voices joining the fray. "He's a service dog," someone yelled. Others shouted it, the officers demanding they stop. The scene erupted into chaos, sirens blaring, officers shouting commands, the crowd pushing closer to defend the little girl and her companion. Emily knelt on the asphalt, sobbing, her tiny hands gripping Rex's fur with desperate strength. The shepherd whimpered but stayed by her side, refusing to leave her unprotected. In that moment, the city street wasn't just loud. It was a battlefield of misunderstanding, fear, and heartbreak. Just when it seemed the chaos would spiral beyond control, a man's voice rose from the crowd. "Stop, look at his harness," he shouted, pointing toward Rex. All eyes followed, and for the first time the bright yellow vest was clearly visible. The word service dog was printed in bold across the fabric. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The shouting softened, replaced by murmurs of realization. The officers froze, their batons lowered, shame beginning to creep into their hardened expressions. One officer cautiously stepped forward, kneeling to look closer. The leash tag carried medical information about Emily, her blindness, her dependence on Rex. The officer's throat tightened as the truth struck him. This wasn't a threat. This was a lifeline. Emily clung to Rex, tears staining her cheeks. The German shepherd pressed against her protectively, his eyes fixed on the officers. The truth had shattered the illusion of danger, leaving only guilt, silence, and an entire crowd waiting for justice. Emily collapsed to her knees, clutching Rex as sobs shook her small frame. The dog nuzzled her face gently, his body trembling from the struggle, but his loyalty unbroken. Around them, silence fell heavy. The officers, once firm and commanding, now stood frozen in shame, their earlier confidence stripped away by guilt. Slowly, a senior officer stepped forward. Unlike the others, he didn't raise his voice or his hands. He crouched down to Emily's level, his face drawn with remorse. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his words trembling. For a moment, even the crowd hushed, watching the uniformed man bow his head to a blind child and her dog. In that fragile silence, something shifted. The anger dulled, replaced by the possibility of understanding. Two officers carefully helped Emily to her feet, but Rex never left her side, pressing close as if guarding her from the world. The senior officer signaled for the streets to clear, and slowly the tense crowd began to soften, murmuring relief instead of outrage. With flashing lights guiding the way, the police formed a protective path. Emily and Rex walked forward, this time not as suspects but as honored souls shielded by those who had wronged them. Each step was a quiet apology, each glance a silent acknowledgement of the mistake that nearly shattered two lives. Neighbors and strangers alike rallied closer, offering comfort and support. The community's anger transformed into unity, sparked by the unbreakable bond between a blind girl and her faithful dog. In that moment, it wasn't about authority or fault, it was about compassion, humanity, and the love that had turned chaos into hope. In the days that followed, the incident spread like wildfire. News outlets replayed the footage, sparking debates across the nation. But amid the outrage, something greater emerged, a movement demanding better training, better awareness, and above all, compassion for those who rely on service animals to survive. Emily, still shaken, found strength in Rex's steady presence. Sitting at home, she wrapped her arms around him, whispering softly, "You're my eyes, my world." The German shepherd leaned into her embrace, his tail thumping gently as if he understood every word and promised never to leave her side. The police department publicly apologized, pledging reform and new measures to ensure such mistakes would never happen again. Yet the most powerful lesson wasn't in their words. It was in the sight of a blind girl and her loyal dog, proving that love and loyalty can change even the darkest moments into light.